You know that feeling, right? When you know exactly what you should be doing, but your brain just refuses to cooperate? Well, let me tell you, it's not a lack of willpower. It's neuroscience. Today, we're going to break down how your brain's reward system is literally being hijacked. And, more importantly, I'm going to give you a practical plan to take back control so you can turn discipline from something you dread into something you actually crave.
All right, here's the game plan. First, we'll look at why your brain is being hacked. Then we'll get into the real truth about dopamine. After that, we'll talk about how to hit the reset button, walk you through a simple 7-day action plan, and finally, explore what life can look like after the detox. Let's dive in.
Okay, so let's talk about that feeling. You know, the one where you'd rather do anything, like scroll on your phone, than start that difficult task. I want you to hear this loud and clear. It's not a personal failing. You're not lazy. It's actually your ancient survival instincts working perfectly, just in a world they were never, ever designed for.
So why? Why does starting that big project feel like you're about to climb Mount Everest, but picking up your phone feels as easy as breathing? It's a question we've all asked, right? And the answer comes down to a really simple calculation your brain is making thousands of times a day without you even realizing it.
Okay, so think of your brain as this ancient, super efficient accountant. Its one and only job is to get the best return on energy investment. So when it sees a challenging task, it thinks, whoa, high effort, uncertain reward, that's a bad deal. And it slams on the brakes to save energy. But scrolling an app, your brain goes, low effort, guaranteed pleasure, that's a fantastic deal. And it gives it an instant green light every single time.
So here's the big takeaway from this section. Your brain isn't broken. Not at all. It's working exactly as it's supposed to. The problem? Our modern world. Every app, every notification, every feed has been specifically engineered to exploit this ancient wiring. It's a hack. They're hacking your brain for those easy, guaranteed rewards.
So, to really understand how this hack works, we have to talk about the main chemical involved, the master molecule of motivation, dopamine. And to do that, we've got to start by busting one of the biggest myths you've probably heard about it.
Right, so here's the big misunderstanding. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical. It's the wanting chemical. It's all about the chase. It spikes before you get the reward, driving you to go seek it out. Think about it. Why can you scroll on social media forever? It's because every single swipe gives you that hit of anticipation, the maybe this next one will be great feeling. That's the dopamine talking, whispering in your ear, keep going, keep going.
Now, in a healthy baseline state, your brain has a good number of dopamine receptors. It's sensitive. Think of it like a perfectly tuned radio. This means that normal, everyday activities like reading a book, going for a walk, finishing a small task, they actually feel engaged. They feel satisfying. The effort feels worth it.
But here's what happens when we blast our brains with these easy, super high dopamine hits all day long. A defense mechanism kicks in called downregulation. To protect itself from being overloaded, your brain literally starts getting rid of its own dopamine receptors. It's like turning down the volume on satisfaction. And suddenly, a book feels boring. A workout seems impossible. You need more and more and more stimulation just to feel, anything at all.
But here's the good news, and it's really good news. This isn't a permanent state. Our brains are incredibly adaptable. They're neuroplastic. We can actually hit a reset button. We can recalibrate our entire internal reward system. And this process, it's what people often call a dopamine detox.
And let's be super clear about one thing. You're not getting rid of dopamine itself. That's impossible. You need it to live. What you're doing is taking a strategic break from all the artificial, hyper-stimulating junk that's been overwhelming your system. When you do that, you give your brain's receptors a chance to breathe, to recover, and to become sensitive again. It's a process called upregulation.
Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. When you start this, you are probably going to feel restless. You might feel irritable. You will definitely feel bored. But this is so important. That is not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign it isn't working. It is the exact opposite. That discomfort, that's withdrawal. That's literally the feeling of your brain chemistry rewiring itself for the better. It's the best signal you could ask for that you're on the right track.
All right, enough theory. How do we actually do this? Let's get practical. Here is your step-by-step playbook to start reclaiming your focus and motivation. And we're going to do it in just 7 days.
It's a really simple 3-step process. Step 1, you've got to identify your own personal triggers. The high dopamine, low effort stuff you turn to. Step 2, set a clear time frame. 7 days is a fantastic place to start.
And step 3, and listen, this might be the most important part, you have to replace those habits, not just remove them.
So for those first 2 steps, let's talk about the usual suspects. We all know what these are, right? Social media apps, endless short-form videos, online games, junk food. You get the idea. These are the things that give you that massive hit of pleasure for basically 0 effort. Remember, the goal isn't to quit these forever. It's just about hitting the pause button for 1 week to let your brain reset.
And now for that critical 3rd step, replacement. Look, your brain can't just have a void. You have to fill that time with something. And you want to fill it with activities that provide a slower, more sustainable kind of reward. I'm talking about reading a real physical book, cooking a meal from scratch, going for a walk without headphones. At first, yeah, these things might feel a little boring, but stick with it. I promise your brain will relearn how to find real satisfaction in them. So what's waiting for you on the other side of this? What's the big payoff? It's a huge, fundamental shift. A shift away from chasing those cheap, fleeting pleasures and toward building real, lasting satisfaction. And this is such a critical distinction to make. Pleasure, that's immediate. It's external. It's effortless. Think of it like fast food. But satisfaction, that's delayed. It's internal. It requires effort. It's like cooking a gourmet meal. Our modern world is set up to drown us in pleasure, but it often leaves us completely starving for genuine satisfaction. So what can you expect? The benefits are honestly profound. We're talking about an expanded attention span, like for real. A kind of mental clarity you might have forgotten was possible. Your energy levels will actually stabilize because you're not on that constant dopamine roller coaster. And maybe the best part, you'll start to feel a genuine excitement for the very work you used to avoid. But I have to be real with you. This isn't a one-time fix. It's not a magic pill. To make these incredible changes stick, you have to start thinking like an architect of your own environment. The goal is to design a life where discipline becomes the easy choice, the path of least resistance.
And that leads to this powerful idea. Think about it. The path of least resistance in the short term, scrolling on your phone, eating junk food, that becomes the path of most resistance for your long-term goals. It's a total paradox. The easy choice now actually makes your life harder later.
So, the science is crystal clear on this. Your brain is not fixed in stone. It is constantly rewiring itself based on the choices you make every single day. It has this incredible capacity to change, to learn, to find joy in effort, and to reclaim its powerful focus. Your brain is ready to do the work. The only question is, are you?